Also, Camden,
Uh-huh.
is that how you spell mayhem? Is
Yes.
in your logo? Is it MAYEH?
Oh, no! Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Misaligned Mayhem. I am your host, Camden Hess, and we got a very special topic for you this week. But before we begin, let me introduce my wonderful guests here today.
Gerald and Sam Nichols.
I come back, and you're already doing the intros for me.
What?
I started. I said I started. So now I'm here introducing everybody. Good job,
Oh.
David. Well, way to go. So maybe I should start with David as my first guest. Hello, there's David back there.
Hello, I am the knight.
He is the knight. I got Gerald over here. He is TRUExSEN. You can find his stuff on YouTube and Twitter. And I have ItsJustSamHere. We're going to be referring to him as Sam. You can check him out on Twitch. And he's got.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, he's got. You wouldn't.
I hate you.
Your stream went down, by the way.
Did it go down?
Yep.
Why did it go
That's
down?
good on mine.
Good on mine.
It's only a minute
Good
and
on
10
mine.
seconds on mine.
Well, how about
It's good. It's
there we
it's
go,
good
there
on
we go.
mine.
I'm like, don't screw us over here, man. Okay. Rough
Yeah,
start,
Joe
but
wants
you
us
know
to
what?
end right now.
All right, everybody, we got to restart. We got to restart this.
I was trying to help. Okay?
Everyone, take a deep breath in. Center yourself. Okay, good. Good
All
stuff.
right, good. I'm
I
keeping.
like this. I
I'm
like this
keeping-
energy.
I'm keeping all of this anyway. So
As you should.
as I should. So I'm gonna.
It's mayhem, dog.
It is the mayhem. So this week's topic, we got anime. We're gonna be talking about anime. So Weebs Unite. I think that's what I'm calling the episode is Weebs Unite because that was Gerald's idea.
Do a heart.
So it does a heart. All right. Anyway, so yeah, this week's topic is anime. I'm gonna start off with the most important question: is that where did everybody start? Where did everybody start watching anime? When did they do it? Where'd you all begin? Where'd you all start being weebs?
A bitch.
A bit. I'll start with Gerald. Where were your origins, my friend?
Pretty much back when I was like 12 years old, or one of my friends came over. He was like, hey, so I sent this new show on Netflix. So me, okay, what is it? And he showed me it was called Sword Art Online. So me and him watched a little bit of it. It was pretty interesting, and then I never finished it after that. But after that, I started getting into, I guess I found a random one. I found a random anime called Girls Bravo. Pretty much it's about like, pretty much a planet of girls invaded regular Earth and all the other stuff. It's weird. But yeah,
That does sound.
that
weird.
was not a good first experience, but it works.
Hey, it's first. It's first. It got you into it, and now you're like 100 series in now. So.
Yeah, you have Girls Bravo to thank for that one.
Oh,
Thanks.
I've never heard of that. I mean, it sounds
Oh.
interesting.
it's worse than High School DxD or DD, whatever you call it.
Oh, so it's one of those. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
And for a 12-year-old boy, it's like, yeah.
For a 12-year-old boy, there you go. Oh, way back in the day. All
She's
right,
like,
Sam. What
"Jake,
about you?
man."
So, I used to scoff at anime. I used to talk shit about anime.
You were,
My friends watched anime, and I made fun of them.
You were just like my
And-
brother. He was like, "Oh my gosh, you're watching anime, dude? That Japanese
Oh.
crap, dude." He'd give me crap for it.
Yeah, I used to talk trash. I would hang out with my friends while they were binge watching Naruto, and I was like, this is, why are you into this? And then one time my friend showed me a couple episodes of One Punch Man. I was like, oh, it's all right. It's not bad. And I never watched anything for a minute. And then one of my friends, he was like, just like watch an anime with me. And I was like, okay, I'll pick it though. And so I picked JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
He picked JoJo.
Which
as his
I'll
first
be
one.
honest, I don't know how I actually stuck to watching anime after JoJo's Bizarre Adventure being my first anime.
Yeah.
But this was 2019. I just got out of school, and it was the beginning of summer, and I started binging it and watching it with him. Got into some other ones, and then it just like spiraled down, and now we have this.
Yeah,
This is the monster that was created. So JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was shown to me by a friend, and that's how I started.
Oh my gosh, that is great. Yeah. I like how like similar you are to Brendan, because like he was always like on me about like, oh, you're watching that, and now I got him into it, and I got all of my siblings to get into it.
Yeah, for sure. I see a lot of my past self in Brendan, and so I was trying to be like, look, I have a feeling you'd like it. You just gotta try it. It's like
Brendan
trying
is
to
a shadow
pressure
of
him
my
into
former
doing
self.
something bad.
It's like Brendan is a shadow of my former self, and it's like
Exactly.
I got him into that. All right, David, how about you? What was your first anime?
Before I get into that, I just want to point out how a lot of people are like, yeah, I used to make fun of it. Usually when you start making fun of something that somebody likes, you tend to like it a few years down the line. It's always weird how that reoccurrence happens with everybody.
100% agree.
I think that's fair.
100%
A lot.
agree with that.
But getting back on topic, I want to say it was sophomore year, and my first one was actually Death Note. It was my brother-in-law was like, hey, you ever seen anime before? I was like, no, what the fuck's that? He just goes, oh, here, just start watching this. And then the first night I watched like 12 episodes. So, got stuck on to it.
Death Note is goated and Ryuka's top 10 character.
Absolutely.
The last like 10 episodes are kind of shit though.
Oh
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
finishes really fast. I feel like it could have totally gone a little longer. After I'm not gonna spoil. I mean, after L was like such an important part of the show. We don't need to get in this right now. I don't want to cut. Camden, you got to tell your part.
You
but-
gotta cut right into it.
I know, like I like want to like get
I
into this
wanna
already,
dig
but like
so
we got to
deep
get
into
into
it.
the intro part first.
Okay, well, let me start with my. So, as I said, like before, like we had talked about this earlier, but I had two, like, first, there was the one where it just wasn't into it. I was like, oh, I was trying to get into it, but then I just took like a 3 to 4 year break between it. So, like in middle school, they had the first like 2 seasons of Fairy Tail on Netflix. So I watched all of that in like a week, because this was like this was during the summer, and I wasn't working, so I would stay up super late watching this, and I'm like, oh, I love this, and I wanted to watch more of it, and I was trying, oh, they don't have the rest of it on Netflix, and it was like all that, so I would try to order it off Amazon and stuff like that. The other one I watched was the first season of Seven Deadly Sins. Like I had watched that right after, because like, oh, this looks really interesting, and I watched it, and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for season 2. But that was back in 8th grade. I didn't start watching anime again until like my junior year, and the only reason I got back into it was because I was a simp. There was a girl that I had a huge crush on.
Oh,
Yeah, you know exactly who it is, but like I was like, oh, she's like, oh, you ever seen My Hero? I'm like, yeah, I heard about it, but I've never actually watched it. And she's like, you need to watch it. And I'm like, all right, downloading Crunchyroll. I am watching the hell out of this show, and I'm like, she had all the characters memorized, which I thought was crazy, because I'm like, I watched the first season, I'm like, I can't even remember Midoriya's name in My Hero properly. Like All Might was easy because that was in English, but everything else was just so hard. But that's the thing, she would quiz me and like, oh, you got to know these characters. I'm like, oh my gosh.
The things we do for women.
The things we do for the only reason the only reason I get back into anime is because I had a crush on this one chick that I'm not even talking to anymore. So, but
And now we say thank you to her for you being in an anime. That's one takeaway, one good thing.
That's one, I guess that's a good takeaway. But like as it turns out, it's like, man, I've watched I'm obviously very new to watching it. So this was like 2019 when I started watching it. I obviously haven't had watched a lot. So like me personally, I think I've watched a total of like 12 different series of anime, which I don't think is a lot, but I think they're pretty. I think all the ones I did watch were pretty good. I can't list all of them off the top of my head, but I'd say a good chunk of them. What, like, because Gerald said he watched about like 100 different.
I knew about 150 to 200. I used to know life in high school. As soon as I got home, I'd say, like, first 150 episodes of Fairy Tale, I literally watched in less than a week. Because as soon as I get home, I'd watch it till like 2, 3 in the morning, get up for school at like 6, and go home, do the same thing over and over and over again.
That was me in the summer of 2019. I literally did the same exact thing. The after JoJo, it was like I need more. Like it was like an addiction. I was like I need more, and then My Hero, cool, let's go. And I've watched like 3 seasons within like a week. Ridiculous.
All right, so I think we should just get straight into our like our list of like favorite animes and different types of like stuff like that. So I want to say, what was the most recent anime you had watched?
Like newer or just like
doesn't matter. Like say it was an older anime that you just decided, hey, I'm gonna watch right off the bat. Because like for me, it would be Attack on Titan was the most recent one. I finished and watched all the way through because somebody was pushing on me to actually watch the whole damn series.
Wow.
Oh, what? Wow. Who would do that?
Who would do that? I tweeted Sam, and I'm like, so I finished Attack on Titan. Does this mean you won't murder me, senpai? And he's just like, you have been spared.
See, I still haven't finished it yet. I'm still 4 episodes behind.
I'm sorry, but
I haven't started.
Oh yeah, I should make the warning ahead of time that most of our discussions are big, huge spoiler warning. Huge, like YouTube video is just gonna say spoiler warning at this point in time. But
if you don't want to be spoiled, then get the F out, bro.
All right, Gerald, bye. We're gonna spoil Attack on Titan for you.
No, we don't.
Sorry, bye.
All right,
Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald, how did you not catch up? You were supposed to catch up.
I just worked a 15-hour shift the past 2 days in a row.
We'll do our best to avoid spoiling it, but to get to your question, I'll go. The most recent anime that I've watched and finished was Wolf's Rain, and it came out in I think 2001 or 2002. It was like an old one, and it was suggested to me by a friend, and he thought I would like it because the composer is someone I'm a big fan of. And he was completely right. The story was like all right. The music was unbelievably good, and I'm currently watching 8 other anime right now. So like I'm in the process of watching like Soul Eater, Promised Neverland season 2, Skate Infinity. Like I have a whole list, but the most recent
is so good.
Yeah, the most recent one I finished was Wolf's Rain.
I wanna continue on that. You said you're watching 8 at a single time.
That's not that bad.
No, here's the thing.
It's not that bad, but it's tough.
It's easy when they're continuing on though. It's easier that way.
I want to get David's answer first, and then I'll reply to that. But I don't know what David's most recent anime was.
Are we talking about like still ongoing, or are we talking about like fully finished?
I'd say
either or. I feel like
either caught up, ongoing, or like because like me personally it would be My Hero, but like the one I finished. In terms of like, I just recently watched Attack on Titan because I finished that one. Because My Hero's still going on. I'm still watching that.
Just say both of them, David. What are you watching right now, and what have you
both.
Finished recently?
Well, one that I'm all caught up on and that they're taking a break is that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Gotta say,
I've heard that's good.
Fucking lit. But for
Rimuru?
still, yeah, Rimuru. Shit fucking happened within the past like 5 episodes. But for ongoing still, I'd say I caught up on My Hero today. So
there you go.
Nice.
Oh, the episode came out yesterday, didn't it?
No, it came out
yes,
today.
sir.
I didn't watch
no.
it yet.
My Hero.
No, yeah,
Saturdays.
it was today.
So it was
Yeah, it
today.
came out today.
Right.
Oh, is it today? I thought it came on Fridays.
It came Saturdays.
No.
Saturdays.
Pretty
It came out
sure
today,
it's
then,
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I
behind
haven't
on it. I've
watched
only
it.
seen the first episode.
I haven't watched it yet. First episode was
It's so-
okay. I just think it was funny. Miriam
First episodes of
floating in the
those
river.
new seasons are always like weird intros, or like
Yeah.
they just like reintroduce
Catch
the
up.
characters. You catch up and stuff. Yeah.
That's all that episode was, though. Was just like reintroducing
Lemillion
the characters.
Lemillion was pretty funny in it. I thought.
I loved
like,
it.
he just
I
kept
loved
it.
yeeting himself into the water and like.
Somebody
floating around.
saved
I thought it was
me.
pretty funny.
He's
Yeah,
just
I like how
so
they-
dumb.
I like how they saved him and he just jumped right back in.
Yeah. Whoa! And it's like head spinning in the water. You just see him like it's pretty funny.
I need help.
Oh yeah.
But no, what is it? The one I just recently finished was Kuroko no Basket.
I've heard that's so good
It is
for
so
sports
good.
anime.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Haikyuu
good.
is really good. I
It's-
haven't seen Kuroko no Basket, but I want to.
Haikyuu is a really good shonen to where Kuroko no Basket's a really good, I guess, power sports show is what it is.
Gotcha.
With the
Yeah.
power of sports, we
That one-
unite.
That one took me like a couple weeks to finish, but it was so good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Oh,
And then,
all right. Well, what we got over our most recent ones. What's next? What's next for everybody? What's the next anime you all want to watch? I know my next one, the one that David has been trying to get me to watch since it ended. Or
I've been
since
doing
it
it too.
started. Was Jujutsu
I've been-
Kaisen.
that's me too, Camden.
I'm currently watching that. I guess
So
that's what.
So freaking good.
Actually, that would be my currently watching is Jujutsu Kaisen. I think what's going to come after that is probably Hunter x Hunter or just Hunter x Hunter. I don't know how people say it.
Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, I feel like that's an essential one to watch.
Mhm.
That
However-
one's fucking good.
Okay. This is maybe an unpopular opinion.
Oh.
I think I only liked like a tiny fraction of the Chimera Ant arc. Only liked the end of it. I thought it was way too dragged out. Like I thought it dragged out way too long.
Well, it was supposed to
It
be.
was so
supposed to be a big
slow.
arc. It was supposed to be a big arc, though.
I know
Just
there's a
offended
lot
Gerald.
happen. I know it's supposed to be a big arc, and I know like a lot of stuff happens in it, but like it was just very very slow.
See-
I really enjoyed like some of the parts of it. I mean, I think what is it, episode 132 or whatever? Like
Mm.
the what I'm talking about with Pito and Gon. and-
Oh yeah.
like that is one of my favorite scenes in any show ever. However, I just think that there was a lot of it. Just I enjoyed watching it at the time. I just looking back, I feel like it was just so long.
what is it though? I feel like they could have done one thing to mess up the Chimera Ant arc was because Kite was supposed to be in the very beginning of the show. Like back
Yes, in the manga.
he was
Yep,
chapter
I've heard
one.
about
He was
that.
the first character besides going to be introduced, and then all of a sudden they threw him in there. All of a sudden, Gon cares about him way too much, and no one knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I
if
know
they
one
would've done
thing.
that, it'd been better, I think.
One thing we can definitely agree on here is when are we gonna get another season? It's not done yet. The
The manga's
manga
picking
artist
It's picking
is it
up now.
picking up again?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, sir. I think it's getting picked up this year. Hold up.
Because the creator, he also created Yu Yu Hakusho. I haven't
Yeah.
watched Yu Yu Hakusho, but Yu Yu Hakusho also isn't done. This guy is over here fiddling with I don't want to say, and he's just not getting his work done. I want more Hunter x Hunter. I think that the way it ended was good, but I need more.
Do you
That's-
do,
that's
you,
all
do
I'm
you
saying.
recommend that show to be a first for people or like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't
'cause-
recommend any show that's that long to anyone. I
Really?
personally wouldn't. I think Erased is like the perfect first anime for anyone.
I don't think.
I
so.
personally think so. I think 12 episodes because it's such a commitment to watch 160 episodes or
But I
140
understand-
or
I
whatever.
understand the 12 episodes, but like not a lot of people are into like the mystery and all the other stuff like
See,
that as
that's
well.
the thing. I recommend like if you're trying like my brother, he was totally a superhero nut, and I'm like my hero has to be his first anime because he's
Yeah, that was
totally
a good first
into
for him.
superheroes.
I think it
And,
depends on what you like.
and then like my sister, so my younger sister, she got into it because of her boyfriend, and like, oh, let's watch My Hero together, and she's like, oh yeah, I love. Like she had to get used to the animation style because initially she's like, oh yeah, the plot is really good, but the animation quality is just kind of meh. And I'm like, you're just gonna have to get used to it if you ever want to get into anime. That's the thing. But then as she was watching it, she was like, oh, I'm gonna watch even more. So then she started watching Hunter x Hunter, and she's like, I love Hunter x Hunter. That's my new favorite anime. And now she's having my youngest sister watch it, who's like 14, and I'm like, that's now my youngest sister's first anime is Hunter x Hunter. And I think she's like 150 episodes in already, and she started it like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, so she only has like 15, 20 more episodes left.
I swear, right? I'm like, how many episodes are in this goddamn series?
Like it's like 160 something, I think.
I'm like, holy
look.
crap!
The
There's
thing about
161.
Hunter x Hunter, the thing about Hunter x Hunter that I think, aside from how long it is, I mean, I think it's a really lighthearted show to get into, especially the first couple seasons, because there's a massive switch between the Hunter exam arc and like the York News City arc, like there is a massive like switch in tone from like this lighthearted show about some friends to like it gets dark. Like there's a little bit. I'm not gonna say anything because I know you want to watch it, Camden. But like, I think that a lot of the reason I didn't like anime in the very beginning was because I looked at it as this thing that it's so absurd. It makes no sense. There's like all these crazy like tropes and weird things that happen. And I mean, don't get me wrong, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is the worst anime to start off with if you think that those tropes are weird. The fact
that you've continued with that for so long.
Exactly.
Now.
So like if you have someone who's willing to watch anime, like try it out, like, oh, I'll try this out. If someone actively wants to try to watch anime, I think Hunter x Hunter is a great one. If you're trying to get someone to get into anime, I think something a little bit more normal. I mean, Erased definitely isn't normal. It has like some weird aspects to it, but it plays out more like a regular movie. Like it could be done with like real people. Like it could be like a live action and actually make sense. Versus like Hunter x Hunter, I feel like it'd be really hard to do a live action. That's what I think. But Hunter x Hunter is so lighthearted to get into. Like it's really easy to get into it as long as you're like wanting to like get into anime a little bit.
So what it came to, I feel like by the end of Hunter x Hunter, you're going to hate Gon.
Really?
I don't. Gon as a protagonist as the main character, he's not a good person. He's not a good character whatsoever, and he's
that for me is Eren in Attack on Titan right now. Like I started hating him towards the end of season 3, and I'm like, oh.
You're gonna hate Gon just as much or even more, just because what he does throughout the show.
Yeah, I feel like I think it's definitely interesting what happens. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because with Eren, I see like why people would like him and why people don't like him, and I think that's why the creator built him to be that way. It's like you almost want to pick like two sides. Are you a Jaegerist or are you like Eldian or whatever?
That's
so like
I don't know whose side to be on at this point because I don't know who's right.
Exactly, and I think Gon kind of plays like that because some people might understand him and some people don't, and I see that. I definitely am on I'm on your side though with that, Gerald.
I think he's way too selfish of a person.
His character's poorly written, in my opinion. I think his character development is poor. Killua is the only character, or Killua it should be like the main protagonist of the show. Like his depth of character is so much better. So
I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but after like the end of Hunter x Hunter, Killua and Gon are no longer in the story much at all. Like at all. Guess who the new main character is?
Please tell me it's not his dad.
It's Kurapika.
Oh, I like Kurapika though. You don't like him?
I do, but I don't. It's a love-hate relationship.
I like him, but I feel like they didn't give him the time. I feel like his character could have been utilized more, and it is my opinion.
He becomes a very good character later on, but in the beginning, like he wastes his power so poorly. Like later on, he fixes it. Like later, after like all that happens in Hunter x Hunter, but like York New City, he wastes his power. He wastes his ability. I think he put it to a horrible use. That 3 of the 5 abilities he has, he can't even touch because of his arrogance, I guess.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
I guess I'm just gonna have to. I gotta watch Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, you can't even say anything because you haven't.
Well, that's
you gotta watch it.
Y'all are like,
definitely a good one though.
Yeah, it is very good.
Y'all are like, oh, I can watch 8 anime at a time. I'm like, I can't watch more than 1 show at a time. I don't know how you people do it. Like, I'll be watching
one at a time.
I know.
Whoa, Camden.
What?
You people?
I'm sorry.
Really?
I'm sorry.
That's not
Okay.
man.
But what I mean is that like I was watching Attack on Titan and I'm like, I need to be invested. I need to focus on what's going on at a time. And like
Camden.
I can just watch 1 show at a time and be like, oh yeah, I really like this, and then I watch another. It's like going from one anime and then going to another. I'll totally forget about the last one.
Here's the problem.
What?
You start messing up when you start watching airing anime, because when you watch airing anime, that's when you have multiple that you're watching at the same time.
Yep.
So go through 1 at a time. don't watch. I personally would say do not watch airing.
Yeah, no.
Binge shows that are already out and completed. I was watching one, maybe two at a time. Like I would jump between like Naruto, like ones that are longer. I'd like watch some Naruto and I'd be like, okay, I've watched 100 whatever episodes. I want to switch to something else for a little bit. Like that's kind of normal. But like when I picked up like 8 or 9 different shows last season and I forgot to watch a couple of them, and now I'm like behind on 8 different series, and like that was my mistake, was deciding it was time for me to get into airing anime when I'm not even like, I haven't even watched the most popular shows yet. So don't worry about that. Just watch one at a time. That's my suggestion.
So can I ask a question real quick for everyone here?
Sure.
So you guys already know that I am a very big One Piece fan.
Yep.
What is your guys' biggest turnoff for One Piece besides episodes? But what's the biggest turnoff for it?
There is no turn off, dude. Nami is hot as fuck, dog.
Here's I've told you this before, and I'll let everybody else know this. And it's like, obviously, I said, oh, man, because like Sam made a good point about this earlier. Was the you want to just watch all the episodes to say that you watched all the episodes, because that's how you want to do it. But with One Piece, with how many episodes I think it's just the length of it, man. Because like the only anime that I binged watched all the way through that had multiple episodes, because like what, Attack on Titan is in what, 75th, 6, somewhere up there,
76, I think.
That is the longest. That's
pretty long.
It's the only anime that I genuinely like sat down and watched like that was more than a season. Because like watching an anime just for a single season, I can do that. Even if it's 2 seasons, I can probably do that. But Attack on Titan was like, oh, I gotta go through 4 seasons of like, you have like 24 episodes this season, 12 episodes this season, 22 next season, and then you have like 17 in this season. And I'm like,
so
holy crap! Like I had never like done that, and now it's just like, oh, maybe I can do it. Hunter x Hunter's only got what, double the amount that Attack on Titan has.
Yeah.
And then you have One Piece that has a good
970 episodes, I think.
Yeah, that's the only turnoff for me, is how many episodes there are. And it's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with I can't even say there's anything wrong with it because I haven't watched it, or I haven't really watched anything for it. It's just super long. And I know you said, Discord, not Discord, what is it? Crunchyroll did this thing
where Crunchyroll in general, they did. They're just on Crunchyroll.
Oh, the movies that they crunched the episodes together into one, about 2-hour movies.
Yeah.
Which,
so
that's the thing. If you want to get into One Piece, but you don't want to watch all those episodes, but if you're like Sam, who wants to watch all these episodes, to say that he's watched all the episodes, that I get. So it's like, what do you do? Do I just say, yeah, I watched One Piece? And it's like, did you watch all the episodes?
I can make it worse for you.
Yes.
I can make it worse, Camden.
What?
It's only 10% filler.
Only
10%. To where like Naruto and Bleach are like 40 to 50%. So you can't even skip filler.
Still 100.
That would make me more willing to watch it, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
And it's only one season. It's been continuously going for one season.
See, my thoughts on One Piece are, I can't wait to get some of these other series out of the way so that I can actually start watching One Piece. Because I need to commit if I'm watching like something that long. Because even if I watched multiple episodes a day, it would take me if I watch, let's say I watched 2 episodes a day, it would take me over a year. Like, that's crazy. So like, to have that commitment to watch it, I want to watch some other shows first. Like, there's plenty of series that are sub 100 episodes that I want to watch. Like, I do want to check out. And that's why I'm like taking a huge break with Naruto right now. It's because I'm at the part where there's like 40 more episodes in the rest of the regular Naruto where it's all just filler. And the filler, yeah, sure, there's some parts here and there that are like fun to watch, but like it's not source material, and that's fine, but it's not as good as the other stuff. They don't animate it as well. I feel like the voice acting, they don't care as much because it's not like it's not part of the actual manga. So like that is like what makes it so hard for me to watch all these episodes. However, with his One Piece, like I love it when an anime every episode or majority of the episodes drive the story, and I'm a huge fan of that. It's why I think Full Metal Alchemist is like such a good anime, because every episode drives the story, like it pushes it along. And so like that's something that really gets me into it. Like I watched Full Metal Alchemist in like a calendar week, like a work week, 5 days or something like that, 60 something episodes. Like it was crazy. And I think I could tear through One Piece once I get through these other ones, hearing that there's only 10% filler. Like, you just got me excited. I'm all riled up now.
Well, while we're on that subject of like different types of like anime, what is the one thing that will make you what interests you more about a single series? Is it the animation? Is it the action? Is it the plot? Is it the character? Like what is the driving force for you?
Is it the music?
Is it the music? Okay, so for Sam it's the music, and he can explain that. Sure.
So I think I need a little bit of a combination of everything. A lot of people care a lot about the voicing. I don't care too much. Like I don't really notice voice acting as much as I focus on like I need a good plot. I need a decent story. Like I need a decent story, decent animation, decent music at least. Like the best animes that I've seen have like a good mixture of all of these things, where certain moments are portrayed so perfectly with like you have good animation, a great story, and music all coming together to make a beautiful moment. Those are like the points in anime, or the times where anime is like, in my opinion, like the best medium, like the best like form of entertainment. There's some anime that exists, and we could talk about them later. I'm not going to say it right now because I don't want to open this can of worms, where the anime is without the animation quality that it has, it would be lacking, because I'm not naming any names.
I know exactly what Gerald is thinking of. I know exactly what he's thinking of.
I'll even throw the inverse. Like I can admit there's some anime that I've watched that I've really enjoyed that weren't actually that good, but the music was so stinking good that I was biased to say, oh, this is good. So I think that there needs to be a mixture of some of the things you said, Camden, but like I will watch an anime just because I heard a couple songs that like Wolf's Rain, I watched it because my friend showed me one song in it and I was like, I love this song. I want to see how they put it into the show. I rated the show like a 7 or an 8. Like it wasn't that amazing, but the music was like god tier. So like that is one of the big drivers for me. So music and like maybe a combination of the other stuff.
It was a good show for like back in like early 2000s though.
Yeah, I like that 90s vibe. I really like Cowboy Bebop stuff. Like I'm a huge fan of that stuff.
Yeah, because for me, like I think we can go to this like topic, because I know people we're watching My Hero. You had the All Might versus was it All for One fight scene. David can say the same thing about this, and saying how that whole fight scene was underwhelming in terms of like
100% agree.
In terms of fight quality, like animation, it was fine. Like animation, music, and the overall build up in story. And this is like a pivotal moment in the entire series, because spoiler alert, All Might loses his powers.
Then it lasts 5 fucking minutes.
Right,
All Might versus the first Nomu is a better fight.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Mic drop.
Hands fucking down.
It's a better fight. It was much more interesting.
Well, that's because it lasted more than an episode. It lasted more than the last 5 minutes of an episode.
The best part of the fight between All for One and All Might was the ending, where he is losing his powers and he gets exposed and he like points at the camera, you know, and like says to Midoriya, like that's the best part of it. It wasn't. I don't know.
It's a whole plot thing. It's like, it's not an interesting fight because it's literally like over the course of the entire fight, it's about 3 punches that happen. Yeah. But it's still for most, it's kind of an emotional moment, because it's like, oh, All Might is no longer the #1 hero, because he's basically, this is his moment of retirement. And then Midoriya's like, oh, I gotta step up, and bam, I gotta be this new hero. And like the overhaul fight with Midoriya at 100% with Eri-chan on his going Yoda style on his back. Oh. But like
that whole sequence was awesome.
The music was awesome, the animation was great, but the fight lasted no more than 2 minutes.
I still stand behind Stain.
In terms of that last part, right? And it's just like I don't think I like My Hero's a superhero movie, but it's like some fight scenes are just like really short. The ones that should be important are really short, but like you have the Stain fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one.
That was like 3 or 4 episodes.
Like that one was extended to 3 episodes. It's like it's plot, it's a fight scene that's really cool, and it's just like
it drove the League of Villains into becoming a thing. Really.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I'm like, this is another pivotal moment in a show, and it's just like that's the other thing. It's like some shows don't even have like fight scenes to carry their anime. Dr. Stone is one that I'm thinking like there's not a whole lot of fighting in it. It's all like informational stuff. Like you're basically watching Bill Nye the Science Guy if he was an anime. But I love it because it's so cool. It's so cool to see the world restarting, and it's like one guy who knew exactly everything about science building up the world again. Which, David, I don't know if you've seen season 2 yet. Or finished it.
I have not finished.
You need to finish season 2.
I haven't started it.
I haven't started it. I haven't started any of it at all.
I want to admit. I want to say this though. Season 2.
I have the first volume.
Because season 2 is over. Like it's 11 episodes, and it's like season 2 is over. So I don't think they're doing a second part of season 2. But
doubt it.
What Camden told me at the gym. Oh my god.
What about Dr. Stone?
Yes, the ending.
Oh, the ending?
Don't spoil me too.
God.
I don't want to spoil anything because the rest of these haven't even caught up on it. Or
I haven't caught up either.
The rest of these.
These? Them? These?
I'm sorry.
You're
an object to me!
You're becoming one of these and them.
I am one of
You're a these.
One of these.
Wait, I really want to hear I want to hear like your answers to that question though about the what is it that what things matter the most to you in an anime?
It really depends on what the anime is going for. Cause like I watched Demon Slayer, and when I finished it, I'm like, this wasn't that bad. I actually really kind of enjoyed it, and like. It wasn't because of the animation. It was because of certain themes that were being addressed in it. I know y'all are looking at me like, dude, Demon Slayer sucks, but like, I'm not saying it's the greatest anime, and I do think it's overrated, but I like to think that like there are certain things in it that really I connected with on a personal level, but like not everything, right? And maybe it gets better. As the anime proceeds and goes out, and honestly, the only thing that
Mugen Train next week, baby.
Right,
next week.
Next week's coming to theaters.
The only thing that bothered me throughout the entire thing is literally the villain. As I'm like, God damn it, why does he look like Michael Jackson? Why does he look like Michael Jackson? It's literally it's freaking a samurai going around trying to find a Michael Jackson.
See, what is it though?
And the Jackson 5.
So, Camden, when we talked about this before, I can agree that the animation carried the show.
I'm not saying like that's...
But not too much, but the individual stories of characters were 100% better than the actual main story of the show.
I agree, and it's like, I can fall in love
Demon
with...
Slayer?
Yeah. Like the individual story, like the sympathy, like the story about the Spider Demon's family.
Because it made you feel bad for all the demons, because they were basically stuck with this lifestyle. So it's like, what do you do then? And then they die, but they didn't die in a terrible, like, psychotic way. It was sort of like
mercy.
Yeah, Tanjiro was just like, yeah, we're gonna give a more merciful death is what I want to say. And it's like initially I'm like, the one guy from what was his name? He was the freaking web guy in the forest. I forgot his name. He was the guy who wanted to make a fake family, should I say?
Oh, the lower 12.
Yeah. He was in one episode. I'm like, oh, I swear, if they do a backstory of this kid, and because initially I'm like, I have no sympathy for this kid. Like, I absolutely hate him because he's just like, because like initially it's written so that you're supposed to hate him, but then one episode later comes and I'm like, God damn it, I have sympathy for him, even though I hated him throughout the first 5 episodes I seen him. They throw in this one episode that makes me feel bad for him, and I'm like, why do you do this? I think that kind of stuff is written perfectly, but like everything else is kind of just overshadowed by that. And what's his face, Lightning Guy? I cannot stand him.
Senetsu.
Thanks for the follow, my guy.
Sam.
I think he's one of the worst characters in a TV show. He's so annoying to me. I'm sorry. I think he's so annoying. However, I think that when he like, when he's sleeping or whatever, and he goes like sicko mode. I think that was one of my favorite scenes like in a show.
Everybody's
think
looking at that like that's the best scene in the entire
I don't
show,
like it.
and it's just like
I think it's poor writing.
I like how it's animated. I think it looks good. I think it looks cool. I think it sounds cool. Outside of that, I think that he's a bad character. I hope that we see more from him. I think Mugen Train I think it's gonna see more of him, but he's like a Sakura in Naruto to me. Like he's like I think that he's like of that same caliber of character, and I mean, the show is extremely popular. The manga is extremely popular. There must be more to what's coming next that must make it better. I think that I will die on the hill of the show is carried by the animation. It's not a bad show. It's just a typical shonen. Like it's not like super unique. I think the character design's awesome. I think the art style is cool. I mean, like it's the same drive. I agree. I think all of the enemies, the backstories when they humanize them, I think that's really cool. But like at the end of the day, also the music's pretty good. But like at the end of the day, it's just like a typical shonen with god tier animation. Like or S tier. I don't know about god tier. God tier is a little higher.
I did notice how like it would sometimes switch animation styles, and I was like, I can pick that stuff up like it's nothing. Like it would switch to like if at a certain panning view, it would switch to CG, like CG characters, and I'm like, why does it do that?
Easier, less.
I get it's easier, but it's certain. It's like certain. I like. It's not like
they kind of have to. They spend so much money on certain scenes that they have to dumb down other ones. It's like a give and take kind of.
Yeah, it's more like the scenes that it's like, okay, it's pointless to do like hand drawn anime. I get it. Yeah.
Because then like one anime episode's like anywhere from like $2 to $3 million per episode they have to spend on it, and just animation, all that. So. It makes sense for them to be just a little bit.
I wonder how this movie is gonna look. Like when the movie comes out, I just wonder.
Oh, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna look so stinking good. I think it's gonna be like I have to imagine, because I've seen a few anime movies. Usually, anime movies look like the best animation parts of the shows that they're movies of. So we're probably going to see the entire thing. I mean, what is it? It's going to be
Episode
like 4.
17.
It's going to be like the entire thing will be of that quality. At least I think it's going to be that way. And I'm very excited. It broke records in Japan. I think that I'm excited. As much as I think the animation carries it and it's not that special, I think that I'm still excited for it. Like I think it's a good show. It's not a bad show. One of my friends hates it because of how popular it is. I think that's stupid. It's not bad.
Listen, I agree that it's like, okay, why are they overhyping this? Another shonen hero's journey, to say the least. It's, some tragedy happens to some kid and he finds an older guy to train him. Basically Star Wars and Harry Potter.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball. That's the thing. Like you've seen this before, but it's like, that's the thing. You have to wonder what Demon Slayer did differently. Like you obviously we see it as like, oh yeah, it's that typical story of like, oh yeah, something whatever and whatever. But like, what did they do differently that other stuff did? Was it just the appeal of some of the characters?
He cut a rock. This what
he cut a rock with a sword. Total concentration.
That's one of my.
Why'd you start going Crocker?
That's why one of the funniest things in anime to me is. One of my favorite things that they do in anime, like just in general, and I think it's just always silly to see like how it pans out, is like in the it's usually shonen. In the beginning of like the shonen, like the character's journey, whatever it may be, they give him like a challenge, and he has to like it takes multiple episodes for him to like achieve or complete that challenge. So like Tanjiro cutting the rock or whatever. But one of the funniest ones that I ever saw in my entire life though was in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It was in, I think, part 2 when Hamon, I think it was called Hamon. It's basically like it's like an energy force where you can like basically send your energy from like your body into like another thing or around a thing to hit somebody else or whatever. It's this ridiculous concept. But instead of cutting a rock or whatever, what is it?
Hockey from One Piece.
Wait, was it hockey from One Piece? Did he have something like that too?
Yeah, pretty much like what they can do is it's called armament hockey. Pretty much they can make it like their arm or like a weapon they have. Like pretty much they're as durable as the most strongest steel and slice thing, give it extra power.
It's basically like that. This it's not like a it's not an innovative concept, but the funniest thing was that instead of cutting a rock, what one of the guys had to do was break a rock that a frog was sitting on without hurting the frog. So he had to punch the frog but distribute the energy around the frog to break the rock, and it took like multiple episodes to get that. It's just like I think it's just like the funniest thing, I don't know. The absurdity of anime is one of the reasons why I like it now. But it's funny because that's one of the reasons I hated it in the beginning.
Fuck that frog.
I swear.
Fuck that frog. Bow!
I swear.
I just imagine him smashing
Here's
the
the only
frog.
frog that really matters, though. Am I right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That bitch thick.
I just imagine anime characters smashing a frog over and over and over until they can actually get it.
And fuck. Like put a new frog in there, he smashes it, a new frog in there, smashes it.
Oh,
30
Frumpy
frogs are
dummy
dead.
thick.
They put Froppy in there. He's
Yeah. Oh.
Let's have a kind of smash.
Oh god.
like,
But I swear,
I mean,
me personally, I'll jump from different genres of anime, and it's really like what interests you in like is it the like somebody says it's good, or is it like because like I like the even if the context of the show is kind of meh, I just like the overall like idea of a show. Like Dr. Stone, it's the world basically. The whole world everybody turns into stone. Years go by, you're in the future, and they have to restart civilization. I'm like, that's a cool concept. I think is like dystopian future type stuff. Well, not like Hunger Games or like Divergent series, whatever. But this is like world basically restarts.
It's actually good.
Yeah, it's really good. I like that concept, and I don't even have to know what the episodes are like. It's just the whole synopsis, like. Do people get interested in an anime because of a synopsis, or is it mostly because what's recommended?
Synopsis.
Synopsis. I mean, like I go both ways. Like if the story sounds like a cool story, I'll check it out. Like I love a good story is a good story. Romance, shonen, whatever it might be, a horror. I mean, I don't know. A good story is a good story, but also like if one of my friends is recommending a show to me, like I'm going to assume that I'll probably like it at least a little bit because like I have stuff in common with that person, so I'll try it out.
I can think of one anime that I've recommended that I know at least Gerald hasn't enjoyed so far, and that'd be Overlord.
Yep.
Overlord.
I fucking love
watched.
Overlord, but Gerald got like 2 to 3 episodes in and he can't get behind it.
I don't like isekais. I don't like isekais that much.
That is David's genre because what was it? There was Demon of the Misfit. No, Misfit of the Demon King Academy. Sorry, but like I remember watching that in one sitting because of how short it was, and then I'm like, this
Wise Man's Grandchild.
Wise Man's Grandchild. I'm like, I'm sensing a pattern, and once I started trying to watch Overlord, I'm like, okay, I figured out what David's into.
Overpowered characters.
Overpowered characters.
Real quick, before we go on,
okay,
I just wanted to point something out that I've noticed in Camden as well, is if he binges an anime, he will not remember anything about it except for that he's watched it.
Who?
Camden.
Yes.
That's why if he were to start One Piece, he'd probably get through the whole thing and be like, wait, what the fuck happened? What's this guy's name?
What was the main character's name?
Who the fuck is this green hair guy?
Yes,
I think it makes sense though. Like if you're consuming names so much that in a small amount of time, I think it makes sense. But I don't know. I guess is it names? Is it just names, or is it like plot points too?
It's plot points.
I can remember plot points. Are you kidding me?
What happened in season 1, episode 8 of Attack on Titan?
This is just a hit piece on Camden now.
Can you remember, Gerald? What happened? Don't look it up.
I think so, though. I think it's the episode where Aaron has to transfer the rock and he goes crazy.
Right, because that was the first 13 episodes, and this is where he gets eaten by the one Titan, and he ends up becoming a Titan because it happened. I don't know. And then he goes for the. I don't know. I can't. It's funny how I can remember key plot points, but I can't remember how they happen in sequence.
All right, I want to pose a question.
Okay.
What's the most underrated anime you've seen?
Somali in the Forest Spirit. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, I think that anime is adorable, but I can't say it's underrated because I don't.
Do you think it's underrated?
Fuck. Here,
I have one.
Let me open up Crunchyroll.
I have one, David. You might agree with me. Mayo Chiki.
Oh, that one's fucking good.
How do you spell it?
M as Mayo, like Mayo.
Okay. Yep.
Chiki. CHIKI.
Chicken, but without the en, it's an I.
Cheeky.
God damn it.
If it's in terms.
Wait. This synopsis sounds interesting.
Okay, read it.
What's the synopsis?
Kinji Sakamachi, a 17-year-old high school boy, suffers from gynophobia.
Yeah.
Is gynophobia what I think it is?
Fear of females.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it meant a fear of vaginas.
Gynecologist?
Because I was thinking gynecologist. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. And it would be like you're not scared of women,
female.
just like the anatomy of a woman.
He's scared of the doctor. The gynecologist.
Oh, so that's what I have. I have gynophobia. I'm just kidding.
I have gynophobia. I'm trying to think of the anime I've watched and like trying to figure out of those which one do I find to be underrated.
I have mine. I could give you mine any day of the week. It is called Terror in Resonance.
Terror in
I've heard
Terror in Resonance.
Terror.
Yep, Terror in Resonance. It's 12 episodes long. The story is really good, and it has one of my favorite scenes in any anime ever. And the music is composed by my favorite, I would say probably my favorite anime composer. Absolutely love that show, and I would suggest it to anybody.
I think I'm gonna actually.
It's so good.
I think I'm actually gonna stick with my answer.
Where did you watch this at?
I watched like everything on 9 Anime, or Go Anime, illegally streaming it. So, FBI, if you're watching this, sorry.
Is it on Netflix?
Stay off my computer.
I don't
FBI,
think so.
open up.
It's on Hulu, premium subscription. It says it's produced by Mappa, and created by Shinichiro Watanabe, who made Samurai Champloo, Space Dandy, and Cowboy
Space
Bebop.
Dandy.
So
I hate
love
Space Dandy. I hate
what? I love Space Dandy.
I
Do you
got
like
so
that? Do you not
annoyed
like
with the cow.
Do you not like episodic anime?
I do. It's just like when I was younger watching Toonami. Like anytime it came on, I'm like, you know what? This is stupid. I'm just gonna watch something else.
Wait a minute.
And I'll switch for a half hour.
Wait, okay, Gerald or Sam, because like Brendan just texted something in the Twitch chat that kind of brought my attention. So you know the Titan that eats Eren in the first season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he inherit the attack Titans? The attack Titan.
Because Eren didn't die. Maybe I don't.
Because I don't think he chewed.
Yeah, but
I don't know if it's that. I think so. I think what we see, because anime does this a lot. The time in anime minutes is much shorter than what we see on a screen. I think Eren gets eaten. I think the moment he hits his stomach is when he actually turns into a Titan and comes out.
Yeah.
I think it's like that almost.
Okay.
Here's the thing I want to bring up though, and I haven't read any of the manga, so this is not a spoiler. If you go listen to this, if you go back and watch the scene where Eren saves Armin, if you watch when the Titan initially eats Armin, he swallows Armin. You see Armin fall all the way down his throat, and you can hear that he swallows him. And you see Eren laying down on the rooftop, and you're and he's like, Eren's basically feeling defeated, and then all of a sudden he gets up and saves Armin. He goes to the Titan, saves Armin in his mouth rather than Armin. That I personally think that this completely builds a case for the theory that Eren throughout the entire show is consistently changing timelines by sending messages and memories to his past self, because we all know that the Attack Titan at least the Attack Titan, has the ability to remember things in the future and in the past, kind of like how Grisha, I think it was Grisha,
Save Aaron.
Said
Mika and
protect Armin and Mikasa, and then whatever Aaron's dad's name, I forget what his name is.
Grisha said that.
Oh yeah.
The former Attack Titan said it.
Yeah. What was the former Attack Titan's name?
He was a blonde.
I don't remember. But he says to Grisha, he says, "Protect them," and Grisha's like, "Who are they?" And then he says, "I don't know." So like that totally supports like this theory of back and forth messaging between them, because if you look at the very first episode of Attack on Titan, Eren is dreaming outside. He's like underneath a tree having a dream, and if you scrub through the images that you see on in his dream, those match up with some frames later on in seasons 1 and 2. I don't know about 3, but I know at least later in season 1 and season 2. So like it basically supports this theory that Eren is consistently sending these messages back and forth so he can come up with the best timeline for the future self. I think that
I didn't understand.
Attack on Titan is one of the most insanely well-written stories I've ever seen in anything.
I think that might be why, like, after like he gets Grisha's memories, why his character completely changes, like 180. That might be
100%,
because he's trying to set himself up to become the greater thing. Yep. Instead of going down the bad path.
Yep. It was when they're in that. It's when they're in that jail cell, and he said, "I just had this dream," or whatever. He said, like, and he got all the memories. What activated those memories though? Like, what activated it between before and after? I don't remember. I guess maybe it's not like a huge plot point.
I think it might be the acceptance part.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because when he chained up like this, when he remembered it too, like remembered a lot of Grisha's memories, he was chained up, about to be eaten.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. In my opinion. Okay. So what I know about Attack on Titan, the guy who created it had the entire plot of the story decided essentially before starting the manga, which is something a lot of showrunners and people who create TV shows, a lot of the best TV shows get fucked at the end because they didn't completely finish. Like they didn't plan for it. Game of Thrones is a prime example. I don't know if you guys watched Game of Thrones, but the ending sucked because it did not follow the written story. They went past the books, and so they fucked the ending. So what they did, I think Attack on Titan is the perfect. I think the story of it is just unbelievably good, and like the complexity of the back and forth, and like these, like the idea of like traveling memories through like a circular timeline, it's just so stinking cool to me. I like that stuff. That's why I like Steins Gate so much.
David, all I gotta say is one thing, and Sam's probably gonna hate me for it.
Go ahead. I feel like I know.
Soul Eater.
Yep.
What about it?
They didn't follow the ending of the manga, and they made.
I know that. I knew about that.
That's what.
Same with didn't Tokyo Ghoul? It's the same thing, right?
They completely like the first like 10 minutes of season 2, episode 1 was how good, and then fucking gone.
Yeah, and everyone hates it. Everyone hates season 2.
I loved it. I actually loved it.
Really? Okay. I mean, it's fair. I think that's fair. I've heard people say I know someone who loves season 2 as well.
I loved season 2, but when I got into when it was like, what was it, Tokyo Ghoul, like Ari or whatever, or whatever. When I got into that, I just got so bored.
My thing is like between like Part 1 and Part 2, there was like they had to make a whole new like manga for Tokyo Ghoul, and so pretty much like after season 2, that it starts off like with everything like that, right, and then there's like a 3 or 4 year time skip, and then continue the story out. So they missed a bunch of arcs that make so much sense. So the whole last season just feels super rushed.
I think that when animes or any show goes past the source or off of the source material, I don't think that that's an automatic it's going to fail.
No.
There has to be examples where it worked out that I don't know of, but I don't think it's an automatic. I think that it just increases the chances of it not being well received or like good. Apparently, I do want to talk about this one. I don't know if you guys have watched Promised Neverland.
I've seen half of it.
Okay, so season 1 is widely like regarded as like a great show. A lot of people really liked it. I have not finished season 2, so I can't speak too much on it. But I know that season 1, a lot of people loved it. It followed the manga. It was great. But then in season 2, wait, and another thing I gotta say is most anime, an episode will go over like, what is it? Anywhere between like 2 and how many chapters is a typical like anime episode? I think it's like 3 or 4, maybe 2 to 4.
3 to 5.
Okay, yeah, 3 to 5 chapters in one episode of an anime. In the second season of Promised Neverland, they went over like 20 or 30 chapters per episode, and they've skipped over so much material that it enraged so many people, and apparently it completely destroyed the season and the show. They say that there's no way, like I've heard people say there's no way it's going to come back. By squeezing in so much into such a small space, they completely ruined it. I hate to see great shows get ruined. I haven't seen it get ruined personally yet. I need to watch it and come back with my thoughts on it. But I don't like seeing things get like good stories get ruined like that. It's like something that's sad to me.
I think there's only one like anime that I know for sure that's a really good that didn't have any source material whatsoever. Death Parade. I think it's the one.
Oh, I've heard so many good things about it. I want to watch that.
It doesn't have any source material. I don't think.
I've heard it's sick.
They made their own show immediately.
Yeah, no, there's a couple anime that I've seen where I don't think it has any source material. I don't know if a show I watched recently, not this past season, but the one before, Akudama Drive. I don't think it had any source material, and it was an awesome show. I think it was an absolute sleeper of an anime. I don't think that there is a manga. I could be wrong. I'm gonna look it up. I don't think it had any manga though.
I think it might have been a game.
I think you're right.
Yep. Same thing.
I think you're right. And same thing with Steins Gate. Steins Gate is, according to my anime list, the second highest rated anime of all. It's based off of the game. Third highest.
Danganronpa flopped so bad because they skipped over the second game entirely. So season 1 was that, and then season 2 was game 3. So they missed a whole game 2. So everyone ended up hating it.
I hate that. Like I don't know how you massacre. I don't know. It's sad. All right, give us more questions, Cammy.
Well, actually, now that you mentioned that, I'm like, I think I want to set up because I think we're at the top of the hour on this one, so I might get us set up for the next part of this, where I want to look. I gotta look through this list of stuff because it's like I know there's the manga versus the anime, which I think we pretty much addressed most of that, kind of here. There's basically I think we just went through this most of this whole list, but there is I think we need to talk about.
Oh, there's more I want to talk about.
I know. So I guess to set it up, I'll go with movies, like anime movies that are based off shows, or you have the Studio Ghibli movies.
Ghibli.
Yeah, go Ghibli.
I don't remember a lot of the Ghibli movies. I'll be honest.
I haven't watched.
Yeah, well, get out then.
Get out! I haven't watched a lot of them, but I can say enough to say that I do love the aesthetics of these movies.
And that's for the next episode.
That is for next time. So I'd say stay tuned for that.